the uncertainty of like, this might be a failure, or we could fail in XYZ. We could be rejected here, rejected there. I feel like that's what stops a lot of people from actually going. I mean, 50%, or no, even more than that, I would say. This is 3.5. So 2 out of the 3 production runs that we've done, we didn't even have the money in our bank account when we first began the process of ordering ingredients, cans, and everything like that. We're like, we're just going to make it happen. We're going to find a way. We're going to back ourselves into a corner, and the only way out is freaking fighting our way out, right? And you just find a way.
Yeah.
How many times have we had the conversation where it's like, we're going to find a way. We just got to find it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. I think in this run is probably even the craziest example of that. I said to my dad on the phone today when he called when we were sitting in the forum there, and I said to him, we were talking about how much inventory we'll have from this run, and how many cases this run is, and how fast we expect to move through it, and now that we have the Hannaford expansion. And I was like, Dad, we planned for a run for an expansion we didn't know we were going to get with money we didn't have.
Yeah.
That is you tell a normal person, they're like, what the hell are you thinking?
Yeah.
But we went ahead and placed POs with all the vendors, placed a deposit with the production facility, placed a deposit for cans, massive expenses. Not that we'll get into the specific details of how much, but we placed massive POs for an expansion that we didn't know we were going to get until today.
Yeah.
With a run that we didn't have the money to pay for yet.
Yeah. And it's not to say that we didn't have a plan.
Oh, we did have a plan.
100% had a plan. And it was really of just like not taking a gamble. It's the wrong way to say it, but
it's a calculated risk.
It's literally, it's calculated risk. What's the probability of us getting this expansion opportunity? What's the probability that it's actually going to happen? Right. And like, as you go down the line, it's like, okay, we got to get the distributors for each region. And just to lay this out a little bit too, so people can better understand this, like, because I think that's the common misconception is like, we talk about this too, but like the can, you see the can, it's like, oh, it can't be that hard. Right. And then taking it to retail, it's like, you're in a Hannaford and they're like, oh, that's cool. Like, is it on the shelf, or like, what's the deal here? And it's like, you have no idea what it takes to actually get the product to the shelf. And now with this expansion in the Northeast, we got 3 distributors in Maine that all had to say yes. Then we moved on to New Hampshire. We had to get 2 distributors over there to say yes, and then 1 in Vermont, and you're looking at 2 in New York. We already have the 2 in Mass. All of them had to say yes and be on board with it for us to get this expansion opportunity. Now, right after we were presented the opportunity to expand based on the results we've had so far, which was a couple months ago now, 2.5 months ago or so, and this was just a concept at the time where she was like, yeah, it comes down to what are your distribution opportunities, the partnerships you guys have, what's the territory that you can cover, basically. And we didn't have anything at that point. So that was when we leaned on the connections that we currently have, the relationships we've already built, to get Jason's contact, which was already created from last year with the project, which you talked about on a previous episode. But, that led to the contacts in the rest of Maine. And then, we went back to Ed and said, hey, in your distributor group and everything like that, what are the contacts you have from New Hampshire? And the ball kept rolling, right? And we figured that out in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we had yeses from every single distributor in all those states. And we went back to Melanie at Hannaford, and we told her we had distribution, we had all the territories covered, and that just gave us the opportunity to potentially get the expansion.
They could have easily kiboshed it still.
Exactly.
We had no idea.
She could have just said no,